Okay, so if you hear the fans going off, the fans running in the background, I do apologize if that messes with the gain. I'm trying to stay as far away from my microphone as possible because I know that if there's any sort of humming in the background, if there's any sort of airflow that's going through the room, whether it be on my ceiling or this small fan that's being pointed towards the computer, so that way the air can go through it and, well, through the cracks and whatnot to try to cool down the inside of the computer from the front to the rear, then sorry in advance if that messes with the gain. So welcome to episode 9 of Grand Slam, and this is actually an episode that I've been thinking about for a little while, and I wanted to do this mainly just because I thought that this would have been an interesting thing to cover. An interesting thing to really talk. It's basically comparing and contrasting Jade Cargill. Yes, a Grand Slam episode, Sean. Comparing and contrasting Jade Cargill and Charlotte Flair. Basically, kind of how they got to where they are, how they got into the respective companies of WWE and AEW, and where they are now. So, at this stage. So, to start off with the comparisons, the contractions is that, the contrast is that Jade Cargill was not with any other company. Neither was Charlotte Flair, but as far as Charlotte Flair's case, that was as a competitor. The only other company that she was with at the time and was being used as an on-air talent was when she was with WCW. And again, just to clarify, she was not a competitor at the time because she was about 13, 14 years old, right around 2000. And basically on top of that, again, because of the fact that she was 13 or 14 years old, she was not an in-ring competitor. She was an on-air talent, used in storylines that featured Ric Flair. So, that was the only other company that she was with, but not as a competitor. The only company that she has ever been with is WWE. She signed there in 2012, and she trained there for a while, and then made her debut in NXT in 2013. Let's see, she got promoted to the main roster in 2015. And from there, she's won the Divas Championship. She won the NXT Women's Championship twice. She's a four-time Raw Women's Champion. She is a 5-time SmackDown Women's Champion. She was a former Tag Team Champion. She was a Triple Crown. Well, she became a Triple Crown Champion and a Grand Slam Champion, and also won the Royal Rumble. Is Jade Cargill's case, she is 28 years old, so she's 6 years younger, 6 or 7 years younger than Charlotte. But Jade's case, and I might have to go faster. In Jade's case, she basically is an athlete. She was born and raised as an athlete. She went to two different high schools. She played basketball. She led her teams to 2 district championships. She's also a model and currently still is a fitness model. And decided to try. Jade had been training for a year. She had been training in the ring for a year. She tried out at the Performance Center. She went to AR Fox's WWA4 Academy. She took some advice from Mark Henry, and basically Cargill described Mark Henry as her mentor, and And then she went on to train with Heath Miller at Heath Miller and Richard Borger's face-to-face wrestling school. And then she went to the Nightmare Factory. And, you know, she's basically gone from wrestling school to wrestling school to wrestling school to wrestling school, training and training and training. She was doing lots of training within the last year. And it was... And thanks to QT Marshall, she made her professional wrestling debut on AEW, interrupting Cody Rhodes and teasing Shaquille O'Neal's arrival, which, honestly, I thought that match between Red Velvet and Cody Rhodes and Jade Cargill and Shaquille O'Neal, that tag match, that mixed tag that they had, I thought that was really good. And from there, Jade had signed a multi-year deal with AEW, and since then, Jade has been undefeated. She has not gotten any sort of title opportunity, and I feel like right now she's at the point where, you know, she's definitely attracting a lot of eyeballs on Jade Cargill, and just her performance in the ring. And honestly, just her physique is just unbelievable. First of all, let's get that out of the way. It's not like anything that I've ever seen before in a long time. But actually, no. Never have I ever seen any of that type of physique in my life. And that's just outside of bodybuilding, you know? But the thing is with Jade, I feel like if she keeps doing what she's doing, she's going to get a title opportunity. One way or another, she's going to get one. And I feel like maybe if you keep her on this winning streak for a while, she can get a title opportunity. And maybe become the next AEW Women's Champion. Maybe. There's no telling right now, because keep in mind, she's only been wrestling for, she's got a full year under her belt, well, nearly a full year under her belt, with professional wrestling. She had signed, November 12th of last year, and she's been with the company for a little over 6 months now, so she may have been training for a year, and honestly, I feel like she's really good with her promos. I mean, she definitely has done a lot, and I think done a lot within the last year, and I think she's definitely worked really hard to get to that point. As far as Charlotte Flair's case, I've got no clue. Honestly, it feels like WWE is just shoving Charlotte Flair down everybody's throats, and they've been doing so throughout the last 10 years that she's been with the company. She's gone nowhere. She's been with WWE for the last decade of her career, nearly. And I feel like a lot of the reason why she accomplished so much, and especially with part of her recent success, is just that maybe part of it could just be because of her name, part of it could just be because maybe her dad just pays the big bucks and just allows her to win the titles. It feels like that the company just hands her title opportunities and just also hands her the titles themselves in the process. You know, that's what a typical kind of like Charlotte Flair hater would say, but just, you know, when you've been watching the company, when you've been watching WWE for a long time, which I've only been watching for 5 years, so I barely have any room to talk about this. But if you're somebody who's been watching the Raw or SmackDown or NXT for a long time, and you see Charlotte Flair on the screen, and she just gets title opportunity after title opportunity after title opportunity after title opportunity after title opportunity, and so on, and title after title after title after title, you kind of start getting sick of it. Just like, all right, great. I mean, Charlotte's champion. Great. Okay. Awesome. And then she does it again. Okay. That's good. That's good. I've already seen her as champion. Great. Okay. You can stop now. You know, and I feel like they just kept shoving Charlotte Flair down everybody's throats without even asking for it, you know, and whether if it be as a babyface or a heel. Although Charlotte is good as a heel, I feel like she can also just be very annoying, and in that case, it could be good and bad. It's good from the sense of if she's annoying the ever-living piss out of everybody as a heel, she's doing a right thing. But if it can also be bad if the average fan is just sitting there, and it's just sitting there, you know, whether it be live, in person, which it's only a matter of time before we go back to that officially. WrestleMania was just a taste of that, but so far, I mean, if the plans do come through with SummerSlam and so on, then that will be the case. But anyways, circling back, or if you're watching on TV and you're just listening to the promos and she just keeps rambling on and on and on, you either just go shut up, or you just change the channel. I feel like it can also be bad, just in that way. Depends on how you look at it. Depends on how you feel about Charlotte Flair. But either way, I feel like she's just gotten so many plastic surgeries. It's not even funny. It feels like every year she looks different. Like her face just looks a little bit more different every year, and it's weird. It's so weird. But regardless, though, I mean, I mean, Charlotte can be very, very talented, but just when her finish, most of the time, nearly every single time that I've watched a Charlotte Flair match, whether it be highlights or the real deal, her finisher, 90% of the time, is the figure eight. That's it. Like, that's boring. There have been finishes where she actually has gone for a cover, and that's great. It's totally fine. But her finisher every single time that I've seen her wrestle has always been the figure eight. It's always been the figure eight. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with her using the figure eight. Just that's her deal, but just to me, I just find it annoying. I find it just very annoying. But yeah, as far as Jade goes, I mean, I don't know what her finisher is. She's only been wrestling for 6 months, and just I need to keep up with that. I need to keep up with what's going on with Dynamite more often. I've been paying more attention to the Inner Circle Pinnacle storyline, which I think a lot of people are focused more on that than anything else on AEW, and there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I mean, that's all I really have to say. This computer, even though the air's on and it's cooling the room down, this computer's starting to get hot, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this off here. So thank you guys a lot for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you have not considered subscribing, I recommend you do so to keep up with some fine content coming out in the near future. And that about does it for me. I'll see you in the next one.